What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the game week. Is it sorry, not game week? Welcome to the FPL season review. How are you all doing? We're going to be having a look at obviously at the season review, how it went, what went wrong, what went right, what not, and obviously look at a few FPL tools as well, and kind of see how we did overall. Andy, welcome. How are you doing? Can you help me pick a World Club Cup side only using teams from Brazil and Argentina League, a South American draft? Oh, I do not know enough players from Flamingo or the other teams that are playing to be able to tell you, but I can have a quick research on messengers on like back later and maybe message you a few options. You might have to send me like screenshots of like what their prices are and all. Because I haven't even looked into the Club World Cup fantasy to have a idea exactly of like who's good and who's not good. So having said that, let's actually look into the season review. Now I'm gonna bring my chat onto the side so I can actually uh, have a look. Com, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. All right. Now we ended up with a green arrow, which is good. Still one of overall season wise. We went on from game week 30 onwards. We went on a row of 9 green arrows, which overall I think that was pretty decent. The green arrows obviously in the last couple of weeks were not as big as the first half of it. But we're going to see exactly what went wrong now. Obviously, I finished in the top 500k at about 477k, which was given my season and everything. That is my worst finish in 3-6 after 6 years. So it obviously has gone a bit lower. It's been going a bit lower ever since 2021-22. So it's gone worse and worse, getting a bit more worse and worse. So I need to kind of figure out, okay, what went wrong, what went right. We'll have a look into all of that as well. And I went and had, for those of you who were here last time, so shout out to obviously Com, Kin, Aditya, welcome as well, and FPL Mez, good day as well. I think Mira and maybe Com might remember this. I made a Miro board last season. In the last season's season review, the video is on the channel as well if anyone wants to go and see. And this is what we came up with on the Miro board in terms of what worked, what didn't work, partially worked, what to be careful about, and what I need to improve on. Now, this was when this was made. This was a full, not only just FPL, but it was also we looked at the whole YouTube channel as well, just to improve in terms of content creation as well. So we added that as well on the Miro board. So we're going to obviously now what I've done, I've created another Miro board that just changed here. Now you see, I've taken the exact same thing that from last season, pasted it here. We're going to start removing stuff that maybe we basically checked off on, or we can move it to the worked section, whichever, and we'll keep stuff that maybe we didn't apply. Like we didn't apply the learnings from last season. We'll keep those stuff as well. And obviously, what I've got at the same time, I've got FPL optimized. Look at that graph. So disappointing. It's basically bad decision making, which is why the graph is going downwards, and also quite a bit of unluckiness, which is why my points is below my expected points. So I've always underperformed my expected points, but at the same time, I guess you could say poor decision making, which is why the graph is tailing downwards as well. I think if I read that correctly. In terms of FPL review, obviously 470 odd rank. FPL review says in terms of EV and everything, I should have been in like 150, around 150k in terms of rank. I guess that ties in with the unluckiness in terms of the graph as well over here. But obviously, what I wanted to have a look mainly was obviously the points. And this is something that I felt was a bit more interest in the differential ownership, like gains and losses per game week kind of thing in terms of net change. So we'll go through that as well to see what exactly happened. As you can see from here, like the game week 4 to like game week 10 was the downward spiral. Yeah, it is what it is. So we'll have a look into all of that, and also captaincy points. I'm going to put you guys a task now. This is on Premier Fantasy Tools. It's free for everyone. Obviously, there'll be ads running in the background, whatnot. But I got 702 captaincy points from the season. There was a 74% successful pick rate, which is actually pretty good, I would say. And I went and had a look. I think this is like the number of managers maybe they track. I don't know how they track all of these managers, but from all the managers that they have tracked, I'm 1,914 ranked out of all the managers that they track. So 702 captaincy points. At least that I could say was pretty good compared to, I think last time I had a lower successful percentage in terms of captaincy. I was a bit more worse in captaincy. So I've improved on that, I think. So let me read all these comments. Aditya says, finished in the top 100k for the first time. Nice. Well done. Hit the like, guys, if you haven't already. Yes, indeed. Smash that like and subscribe. Indeed. Joseph, how are you doing? Ryan and chat, welcome. I'm so proud, Ryan. Thank you very much. That's for the Miro boards. Keeping up with the Miro board, indeed. I made too many -4s and -8s and got players in one game too early and didn't use my bench boost right. Ended up 1.1 was 1.9 6 or 7 weeks ago. If I apply the last 6 weeks to be the whole season, then then you probably improve better. Your graphs met and mingled the end. Hopefully some champagne after the green arrows. Not too much champagne, but yes, they did eventually meet. So that means if the season went on a bit more, I might have potentially gone on an upwards trajectory. But yes, Love Ryan is a good person. Thank you. Couldn't do much wrong first half of the season, and at 2K, much tougher second half of the season where my decisions mainly didn't go my way. Finished 30K, can't complain. Fair enough. But that shows you, like, even still, a good start to the season is very important. That's something I didn't have this season. FPL Cortex, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I am indeed. Sandri, welcome. I feel your pain. Joseph spent most of the season top 10 and 5K, then finished 26. Yeah. Pete, welcome. Well done on another stellar season of content creation. Time to finally get some sleep. True. Once I can finally get some sleep. But I'm sure Pete is going to be getting up early morning tomorrow to watch Chelsea lift their 4th different European trophy. Maybe it's potentially the Sancho versus Anthony derby. There's all the people I've come to know in the stream. Yes, indeed. Ryan is a vampire. Cannot confirm or deny. Hi, Andy. Yes, Miz. I did keep an eye on you in the Chatbox League. Yes, Joseph was trying to compete with everyone in the Chatbox League. Got 99 points in the last game. Good finish. Wow, that's insane. 100% he's a vampire. No comments. Also, I should add, now that Mira is here, there is a plan to potentially have a FPL Sydney meets catch up. I think next week. The date is to be confirmed. But if you people are interested, any FPL Sydney managers here, if you're interested, do let either me or Mira know, and we'll probably add you to a FPL Sydney group on X. And then when the date gets confirmed, you will know, basically. But I thought I'd put that out here as well. Called some mini league, Jared Bowen, captain. Well done, Sandri. All right, let's get into the Miro board, shall we? All right, this is the Miro board. And where is my chat? Let me move my chat over here. Let's start with the partially worked section. So watch-alongs, I'm just going to keep the watch-alongs in here, partially worked, because in terms of content creation, they were okay, sometimes not really. It depends. I think when the channel gets a bit more bigger, maybe watch-alongs get a bit more better. I don't know. We'll see. At this moment, it's a bit hit and miss. Leaving transfers closer to the deadline for more info. Why did I not spell more correct? this I said partially worked. This actually, for me, this season I actually did wait till like the late and like till the end. I could say sometimes that actually did work. Waiting till the end most of the time. Because I did end up getting more info, but still the rank did suffer. But I will probably move this to worked potentially, because that actually did work. So let's move this over here, because I did actually improve on this, I believe at least. How do I put this here? Let's move this over here. How do I change the color? Ta-da. Okay. So had a good game week 1 draft. No, I had a terrible game week 1 draft now that I look at it. And let's actually go to game week 1 draft. This is something that I should have improved on and I didn't improve on. And I think this ties in with where is it? I don't know where it was. Don't know where actually it was, to be honest. But let me go to the game week 1. This is my game week 1 draft, because this is where everything went wrong, and hence the whole, you could say, downward spiral. Because once you get on a once you start bad, you're just in a downward spiral where you start not getting the best players that are needed for that week, because you go, I'm chasing. I have to go differential. You start digging a hole that you keep going differential, and then you end up like me in this like downward spiral. Because the differentials sometimes they pay off, which is why you suddenly see this upward spike, and then sometimes they don't, and you go, you keep on digging your grave. And I think game week 1, the biggest culprit from game week 1, two big culprits. Nkunku, massive culprit. There are missing persons posters hanging on the Chelsea training ground. There are missing person posters hanging in the Chelsea Stamford Bridge Stadium, because this man has been missing and continues to be missing. So he was a absolute disaster. Sponsor, there aren't even posters for this fellow. Wasn't even worth making posters at this point. This was also a disaster. And why were these? The thing that made it even more of a disaster was the players that I missed out on. Because the players I missed out on by getting in these two, for Kwanzaa, a lot of people went Trent. And Trent, oh my. Let me go and show you guys Trent in that time period, right? When Kwanzaa came in and got injured at the start of the season, 1 point, 45 minutes, hooked, not good enough, never to be seen again. Okay, hooked. Trent in the same time period, 8-pointer, 6, okay, 1 because they lost to Forest, 11-pointer, again a 1 because they lost the clean sheet, 8-pointer, and then after that it kind of tailed down. But by this time, people had played their game week 1 wildcard around game week 6, 7, 8, so they've kind of like moved off on Trent as well. But I missed out on so many points from Liverpool's clean sheets and defensive returns in that time period, because I thought Kwanzaa was going to be a good option. Clearly, he wasn't a good option. He was a horrible option. Nkunku, the same thing. I chose Nkunku as a differential because Palmer was incredibly expensive, let's be honest. Which was good, pricing, that means pricing was good. But Palmer at the start of the season, okay, 2 points against City. It is what it is. 17 points against Wolves, 6 points against Palace, 3 against Bournemouth, that's fine. 8 against West Ham. I played my wildcard in game week 6 and I went and chose Saka ahead of Palmer. 25 points against Brighton. Smashed me. 6, 2, 10. and then went a bit of a low point and again 14 points. I don't even remember where I bought Palmer in, to be honest, but just annihilated by just going Kwanzaa and Nkunku. Those were two. Lewis Hall was actually, I think that was fine. So I didn't have any issues with Lewis Hall. I think the pick was relatively sound. But Kwanzaa and Nkunku, massive problems. Mistake number 3, Marcus Rashford. 3-pointer, 2-pointer, 2-pointer. He just got an 8-pointer, and I think by this time I had probably sold as well. That was an absolute disappointment. So was United at the time. 3 bad picks in my Game Week 1 draft. 4th bad pick, Jacob Murphy. Now, I think I was way too early probably on Jacob Murphy because in preseason he looked really good. But then he just didn't get the minutes for some reason. Like he got like 4-pointer here, but he just didn't get consistent minutes. And then he was just like in and out of the squad from Newcastle. Eventually he started like, it was basically like mid-season where we saw Jacob Murphy actually kind of deliver and he became an FPL option. But I was probably maybe thinking he would start from like Game Week 1 doing really well, and it just didn't work out. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4 bad picks in a Game Week 1 draft. I also should add goalkeepers were a nightmare. Henderson was just not that great. And Flecken, I don't know what I was thinking having a Brentford defender or goalkeeper in my team. So Game Week 1 draft was an absolute disaster. I'm just going to put Game Week 1 draft to didn't work. Absolutely bad Game Week 1 draft. Yes, Sydney meets on Thursday, 5th June. Hit me up if you need the details. We'll finally convince Ryan to join now that the season has ended and he won't be streaming. Yes, for now, I can actually come and appear on FPL Sydney meets because there is no streams or podcast on the same day. I'm in Dublin, a bit far for me, says Andy. Fair enough. And even though there's not many, I think he's going to do the polls, will be educated polls of no casual FPL warriors. This is just an opinion, but you can do everything right, analyze and watch games to go to details. But if you don't have luck, everything you do, it's a 0. Yeah, fair enough. That's true. Never trust Villa defense ever. As I've told you, Ryan. Yep. Hall been steady Eddie, not season, not top tier though. Yeah, he started off well, but then yeah, Oscar Bob says Andy. Yep. 4 million defenders that went online from Brighton. I don't know which one that was. Okay, so that's partially worked. I'm gonna keep this more FPL oriented and probably not. Maybe I'll have it a bit more stream oriented as well. Okay, let's move into the things that didn't work. Free hit in a blank game week. I actually got a free hit this time correctly. It was pretty good, I would say. I was pretty happy with the free hit that I did in game week 34. I think overall my chip execution was pretty decent. 95 points on a free hit. I can't go wrong. Cunha captaincy. Can't complain. Actually, not too bad, to be honest, on a free hit. The Leicester quote of putting yourself in the late riser quote of putting yourself in a position to get lucky is very important, but trust your gut is my favorite quote. Yeah, they're both here. Trust your gut and didn't put myself in a position to get lucky. What's your opinion on mini league? On your mini league or just mini leagues? I'll get back to you on that. All right. So free hit worked. I'm gonna remove this. Just delete it completely. I would say what else didn't work? Bench boost affected game mix around it. No, for this time, I didn't think my bench boost affected my game mix around it. I think my bench boost in general just failed. Also, I would say triple captain didn't really fail because I ended up somehow salvaging 10 points from it to an extent. So bench boost failed, bad game week 1 draft, kept bad players for too long because didn't want to take a hit. This is a bit more of a question mark. I don't think it's kept bad players for too long. I'll come back to this one. Let's do this one. Trust in Darwin and getting poor FPL players. This relates to my bad game week 1 draft. Because of that, I ended up in a bad situation. So I'm going to remove this because then keep the bad game week 1 draft. All right. This is something that I want to ask you guys as well. Kept bad players for too long because didn't want to take a hit. Now, this is not bad players for too long. I'll reword this in terms of kept players for too long or didn't dump on players soon enough. Example, Forest players. Forest players were a lot. I think if Nick was in the chat, Nick obviously jumped on a lot of Forest picks early in the season, and because of that, he went and had a really good season as well. I, on the other hand, didn't. I was on the other hand like thinking, oh, Forest aren't really going to do this, aren't going to continue like this, and then they just continued to tick over, and they just did well. On the same way, kept players for too long. Let's go to FPL Optimized. Now, this is why I wanted to bring this up for you guys. Look at this downward spiral from like game week 4 to like game week 10. This is the Sir Erling Haaland, keeping faith in Haaland and him not delivering at all set of game weeks. Where I had game Haaland. Let's go. Actually, you know the what will show Haaland better? The captaincy picker. Game week 6, captaincy, Haaland. Game week 7, captaincy, Haaland. Game week 8, captaincy, Haaland. Did absolutely nothing. And I think this game week 8, Haaland. Now, Haaland, obviously, here, game week 4, he did pretty well. But I think 5 also, I kept him. What did he do in 5, actually? I got 9 points. Not too bad, actually. So, he did well in the first couple of weeks. And that was interesting because he just did pretty well. Game week 6 onwards is where the spiral draw, like it just blanked. After game week 5, this is where the first wildcard part, where everyone started getting like Palmer and Cunha and Salah into their teams on their wildcard 1. This is where the wildcard 1 window started. Haaland just disappeared. 2 points against Newcastle, 2 points against Fulham, 2 points against Wolves, 1 goal against Southampton, 2 points against Bournemouth, 5 points against Brighton, but then 2 points against Spurs, 2 points against Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool a bit more harder, but like for the price he was, it was just not worth it. And I think I actually sold Haaland in game week 9, but I did captain him during these times as well. And that was also a big fault. Because at the same time, who was it? Salah, 10-pointer against Wolves when Captain Haaland. Against Palace, obviously, it didn't really matter too much. But against Chelsea, 12-pointer. Against Arsenal, another 10-pointer. Whereas Haaland is being captain and he's just getting 2-pointer, 2-pointer, 2-pointer. So that was a massive blow in terms of keeping a player that just didn't end up performing. And when did I get rid of Haaland? Game week 8, I still had Haaland. Game week 9, I had Haaland. Game week 10 also, I had Haaland. Game week 11, I sold Haaland. So I sold Haaland at before game week 11 after getting tired of owning him. And then that's where this game week 11, you see this big green. It's because I sold Haaland at this stage. Now, this is where I ask the question. How do we define when is the right time to sell players? Because Haaland, even though the points weren't coming in, he was still getting good XG numbers. He's getting 2.33 against Southampton, 0.8 against Bournemouth, 0.45 against Newcastle. Now, it did dry up around here against Wolves and Fulham. So what do you do with players like this? If they just blank, like these are top tier players, could destroy you in one game week if you don't own them because of the ownership. What do you do? Now I obviously kept and just suffered. Rank just went down. What would you do? What do you do? Now you guys have also been in the same situation. What do you think you would do differently? Um, Combe says Barco. Yes, Barco was another game week 1 trap. Therefore, think Amad Diallo is the one to get from game week 1 next season. We'll have a look into that. All things. I never liked the bench boost maybe because I rarely get points from it. Yeah, I also didn't get anything this time. Super Captain Bowen last game week helped soften the blow from 2.7 million to 3 million with total of 79 points. Thanks for the season, right? No worries, John. You're welcome. Yes, didn't move away from the players fast enough. Yeah. In the stock market, selling the team value, but everything. I hope I remember to get Rhea in game week 1, then swapping for Pickford in game week 8. Fair enough. Having Sa and Mateta and no Eze, no Bowen hurt me late on. That definitely happened for me as well. That is, I should probably add that to the didn't work. So kept players for too long or didn't jump on players soon enough. I should also add, on top of this, didn't pick the right players from the same team. Example, going Mateta and Sa over Eze. I should also add on top of this as well, at the same thing with the players and all. Didn't pick some players because I thought their team was shit, but they kept doing well. Oh no, I'll just. Example, Bowen. Didn't pick some players because I thought their team was not performing. Is Bowen. That's basically Bowen, by the way. If you guys can't read that section there. Haaland forgot to stay humble. Fair enough. Having Sai, Mateta, and yeah, that is another issue. The no Eze and no Bowen for me. I could have definitely finished top 100k. I think if I had Eze and Bowen on game week 1 wildcard. Not having those two till the end of the season from like game week 31 onwards was a disaster. Missed so many points. So many points. Alan forgot. If your forwards haven't scored a goal in 3, sell. Same for mids. But then how is 3 games too small? Or is 3 games like that's what I was wondering. Like, we up? How many game weeks do we give? Because 3 game weeks, they could score in the next game week like a double digit or 20 pointer. So that's kind of where I'm like a bit confused as to like how many game weeks is enough to justify trying to sell a player after. Like, do you give them 3 game weeks or do you give them 4 game weeks? Where do we draw the line? Obviously, if we go too long, then it's just disaster. FPL is all about going against the content creator, says Ahmed. That is fair points. No, FPL at this point is all about going against FPL Olympian. If he does something, just go the opposite. My main mistake was not jumping on Salah when he was hauling week after week. Yeah, fair enough. Bowen, West Ham are bad, but if teams like goals in, players like Bowen get one. Yes, that is the problem. So that's where I didn't. I think I thought West Ham were not great, which they weren't, to be honest. And I didn't go and get Bowen when I should have probably gone and got Bowen because he was just minting points. Ahmed says, I finished 56k, bought him Bowen, gave me 38 to save rank. He would have killed me if not having him. He did kill me. Thankfully, Salah triple captaincy kind of switched it to a green. 3 weeks then is into 4, 5, 6. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of something that I think needs to I need to work on. So also depend on their attacking players, blanking fixtures. Yeah, so fixtures. I think fixtures are one of my main things is fixtures are king, and I try to maintain the fixtures are king in most scenarios, except for when it's Salah. Then Salah is king, because he's just returns are insane. Obviously, he also dipped in form. Like if you look at someone who went against Salah game week 30 onwards, they probably did really well, to be honest, except for the final game week, which doesn't really matter at that point because they made so many gains by not having Salah at all. Again, that brings us back. Now, I didn't sell Salah because I thought he's going to return, he's going to return, he's going to return. He did not return, and he just kept on blanking. Now, that also meant that I was happy to keep Salah and captain someone else as well at the same time, so that if Salah ever did return, the blow wasn't as big for me because I just didn't captain him. Which was fine for me. So I was basically giving up one spot in my team, where I was just like, it was just rank protection, that one spot, which is not too bad as well, to be honest, in sometimes. Because if as long as the others are delivering, then rank protection for one player is not a bad situation to be in. But obviously my other players weren't delivering as well, or not delivering enough. So then obviously I was like, the whole Salah thing was also kind of like having him didn't really do much. But basically almost a lot of people kept Salah. So yeah, I had picked for the first 6 to 7 game weeks, then took him out, and he finished the highest goalkeeper. Okay, yes, this is another one. How many goalkeeper points did you guys get? Cause the top goalkeepers, Pickford and Sells, Pickford 158 points, Sells 150, Rea 142. I went and calculated my goalkeeper points. I had to sort this by goalkeepers. Here we go. These are my goalkeepers. I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I played 7 goalkeepers. This is including goalkeepers on either bench boost and a free hit chip as well. 7 different goalkeepers. I think I ended up when I counted all of this with 140 points or 142 points. Let me kind of confirm and see because I sent this to the us FPL group chat. I ended up with 140 points from 7 different keepers. This is including keepers from a bench boost and a free hit. Meanwhile, Pickford in one season alone got 158 points. So the next question, is it even worth like rotating keepers too many times? Like so many different keepers I had. Or is it just like you get one keeper and just keep the fellow till like your first wild card, get the second keeper, and then don't bother about keeper rotation? Is keeper rotation just not worth it? That's another question. But I guess you need to get the correct keepers as well. But even like look at Flecken. For all the 7 keepers I had, I only managed to outscore Flecken by 2 points. For all the keeper rotation I did, I outscored Flecken only by 2 points. Then maybe I could have used those transfers somewhere else instead of keeper rotation. Big time play in 3 games. One of them fixtures then should have second scored more. There's form up 2 playing keepers in week 7. Yeah, maybe like the idea is to probably go with one keeper, like one 5 million keeper, and then just a 4 million option. I should have just kept Pickford all season, but he blanked the first 6 games. Then Moyes came in. Yep, that's the thing. Moyes came in and changed. Now there could be a situation where Everton next season, depending on fixtures, do pretty well at the start of the season because it's a new stadium and everything, right? They do pretty well in the new stadium at the start, and then they could just do a reverse Uno card where they just start going pretty poor after like the first 5 to 6 game weeks. They could start getting a bit more poor before they eventually go back again to doing pretty well. So you need to just learn. I guess the important part is trying to figure out when to jump on and when to jump off. I guess that's the other kind of important part to remember, I guess. All right. 117 points from my goalkeeper, says Pete. I guess we could have just had Flecken and not have to have change keeper, and you would have been like, with a few more extra points in there. So yeah, I guess this is something that we maybe next season we look at the fixtures and just pick. I guess we just pick a keeper from a decent team that you know is generally going to do well defensively. Maybe I just pick Rea and just be happy with Rea from the start of the season next season. 5.5 Rea, and just be happy with it. until maybe like wildcard or something, or even post wildcard. Continue to keep him. I don't know. It depends again on the prices of some of the keepers that come in and all. Looking at it now, if I was to pick a keeper for next season, obviously Pickford will be up there, but I think Pickford might even be priced at 5 million. Would you pay 5 million for Pickford? Maybe. So rare Pickford, I think rare. Those are the two keepers I would trust. After that, I don't know if I would really trust other keepers, to be honest. Cells, I'm a bit worried with Cells because I think when Forest start getting Champions League games, I'm a bit worried that Forest might see a drop in form in terms, not Champions League, what am I talking? When they start getting Conference League European games, then I'm a bit worried that Forest season might drop a bit. So that is something we need to monitor as well. So at this moment, I think Rhea or Pickford in a game week 1 draft and then a 4 million goalkeeper. Rhea might be 6 million. Oof. No, I think 5.5. Have they? I don't know if they've had a 6 million goalkeeper before. I think 6 million is very high for a goalkeeper. No one will pay that amount of money for a goalkeeper. Will Ramsdale join a promoter club and try and reach the 4th time relegated milestone? I heard Manchester United are selling Onana. Let's just hope they don't buy Ramsdale. Doubling up on keepers from the same team freezes you out of 2 out of field players. Yeah, never double up on the same team. Pickford will be 5.5. That is possible. Pickford could be 5.5. He could be. But I think he'll be 5 just because of the team he plays for. I think 5.5 keepers are usually kept for the top 3 to 4 teams in the Premier League. So I think Pickford will just be 5. I don't think he'll be 5.5. I don't think Everton's defense is a team where you go every week, they are more likely to keep a clean sheet than the opponent. But yeah, again, goalkeepers, something I think of. All right, worked. What worked? Deadline stream 2.5 hours earlier. I actually attempted this in the latter part of the season. It did work a bit more. So I might kind of do this a bit more. I didn't do it consistently enough. Maybe the upcoming season I might actually try to do this a bit more consistently. Built good team value that helped with access to more players. I didn't really notice this season. And I think the reason I didn't notice the built good team value is probably because I ended up doing this more, the leave-in transfer closer to the deadline for more info. I ended up doing, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry. I ended up doing the leave-in transfers closer to the deadline for more info. So hence I didn't realize the built good team value too much. I can remove that probably. I think also pricing this season was a bit more better. But at the same time, some of the premiums were not delivering, except for Salah and Palmer in a few game, like in a specific window period. The other premiums just didn't do anything. If you think about it, the other premiums just didn't do much. Like Palmer for a set period, and then Salah for most of the season. Where are the other premiums? Look at the top point scorers in FPL midfielders, top point scorers. Salah, Palmer, mid-priced Bruno Fernandes, Luis Diaz, Bowen, Embuemo, budget picks, all under 7 million, majority of them, except for Eze, who's at 7 million. Where are the premiums? Isak, the only premium who started off well and did pretty well. Chris Wood, mid-priced asset. Wissa, mid-priced asset. Watkins actually not too bad. But 186, we didn't really pick him in too many game weeks as well. Like the only 2 strikers who got past the 200 mark were Wood and Isak. And Isak was the only premium striker option. And that is, I think, Isak started off at like what, 8.5 million. So Isak was like, he just went up in price. But the midfielders just were non-existent for the price, like the top tier of pricing. So this like team value was basically not as much relevant this season, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that was just me, my take. I'm gonna remove that for this week. What we're going Guardiola over model pick of Edison Walker. I don't think I had that much. Did I? I don't think this would apply that much this season. Because I remember last season, a lot of people didn't go Guardiola and went for the Edison Walker for the as FPL review told to go double city defense, and double city defense wasn't as performing. This season, actually, double city defense performed quite well at the latter stage of the season. So I'm going to remove this for the moment. What worked? Build a community. Yes. Then we hit 1K subs as well, which is nice. All right. So we've answered partially worked. We done worked. We didn't worked. Let's do be careful about. Don't trust Newcastle leaks or Eddie Howe. I followed that this season. Didn't trust Newcastle leaks or Eddie Howe. Didn't fall into any traps. So we can remove that. Overthinking moves and taking unnecessary hits. This unfortunately happened this season as well. I overthought a few moves, and as a result, let's bring FPL optimized up again. We are going to go to where is it? Here we go. Key loss analysis, key players I lost points from by not owning. Obviously, Trent is up here. One that hurts quite a lot in terms of overthought moves or didn't trust my gut. Bruno Fernandes 17 pointer. This was in game week 29. I was so convinced about Bruno Fernandes as a option and a captaincy option for that week, but I just didn't go for it because I didn't trust my gut enough, and I ended up just getting caught in the whole Twitter bubble / content creator bubble where everyone's like, oh, United are pretty shit, they're not doing too well, and all of that. And because of that, didn't go for Bruno Fernandes in that week where he went and got 17 points. That was a massive blow, which I then took like a week of FPL just to clear my mind, and like reassess how I did transfers and how I approached it, and took less intake from the whole Twitter and content creator space. Like I listened to and reduced the number of FPL stuff I listened to as well. So I only went and listened to a few pods. So FPL Silent, Pete, one of the pods that I trusted and listened to occasionally, quite often. Above average, Mira when she was doing her off the cuff pods as well, and FPLY and Planet FPL. That's it. 5 channels. Didn't listen to anything else. Those are the 5 channels that I just would listen to, and nothing else. So and then basically from that like week that I took off after game week 29, 9 green adders in a row. So I guess you could say I partially did it, where I probably need to improve on as well, which is the trust your gut. That's going to still remain here, but I should have maybe done it better earlier in like game 29. So we'll keep that over here. But once I actually like cut out the noise and everything, obviously we saw greens. So Twitter bubble impacting moves, that needs to be improved on. So I'm going to move that to actually improve on. Um, what else? Be careful about picking players with injury records. I didn't get caught to this season. Like I didn't have a situation where I ran into players with too many injuries. So I think I can remove this. Managers who are not reliable in press news. This is linked with the Eddie Howe, Arteta, stuff like that. So I didn't get caught to that as well, I think, this season, which is why I did. So this is linked with the leave-in transfers closer to the deadline. More so for either leaks or just waiting to see all the press conference news, stuff like that. So I didn't get caught to this as well, which is good. So I kind of actually avoided Joe Pedro. Um, as in like injury prone. Was it injury prone? I didn't really get caught to Joe Pedro too much in terms of that. I don't think I had injury prone players. Let's go to some red game weeks. Lewis Hall was one, but that was a bit unfortunate. Like he basically his season ended. Can't do much about that. Gabriel's season also ended. Jackson. I don't know. Maybe Jackson is a different story. I didn't really get. I can't remember of any like serious injuries. Obviously, Saliba at the latter end of the season for me, he got injured, but then Arsenal weren't doing anything really. To be honest, they didn't affect me too much as well. So I think I can remove. I didn't really get caught unless you guys got caught it. Cunha red cards. I did not get caught to that. Thankfully. He got me because he's injury prone and Welbeck too. Isak Little. Fair enough. Trust in your gut is cutting out the noise. Yes. Trust in your gut is basically cutting out the noise. That's basically what the. Alright. So to improve on, have fun with the game and your picks. This I still will keep it here on the to improve on. I ended up doing it from game week 30 onwards, which was probably too little too late. And that's where this ended up. But at the same time, I also think I maybe went too heavy on it in game week 1 as well. Because I went maybe preseason scouting. I should probably add. Don't trust pick players from teams showing great form. This I should have probably worked on. Let me try and create another one, shall we? Don't trust pre-season form too much. There we go. Because that definitely leads to a bad game week 1. So Twitter bubble impacting moves you can have fun with the game and your picks. Kinda did it, so I'll remove it, but didn't probably do it properly. But I'll remove it because it was okay. Too many transfers spent on goalkeepers and defenders. This we've already touched on now. Trust your gut more. Need to do that more. Pick players from teams showing great form. Now this was last season where we mentioned Crystal Palace's late season form, and I didn't do it. The same now for this season is probably Forest are the team for this season. So that definitely needs to improve on. Now this is the question: where do you jump on? Like when do you jump on a team that starts showing form? How many game weeks do you give it before you pick a team that has been showing form? Like Forest, for example. How many game weeks do you go? These guys are doing really well now. I should probably jump on it because this is not a fluke and they're actually pretty good at this moment. Because I went, Forest. I don't know. When did I even get a Forest player in? I wish I could tell exactly which game week I got a Forest player in. Game week history. Let's actually go game week. No, transfer history, right? Where's my transfer history? There we go. Transfer history. When did I get a Forest player? Williams. Game week 2? I had Williams in game week 2 for Kwanzaa. Aha, so I did have a Forest player. I had Williams in game week 2. But they weren't doing much until, and Williams also lost his spot. So maybe didn't pick the correct Forest player. That was another problem. Did I get any other Forest options? Luis Diaz, Minte, Fabianski, Ola Ena in game week 6. This was on the wild card. Why did I not benefit from this? I might have, game week 15, Ola Ena, I might have benched him. So even though I got him, am I reading the wrong thing? I thought I had Ola Ena. What's happening here? Am I looking at the transfer history correctly? Is this the in page? Oh, this is the. Oh, okay. I remember what. This is the game week 6 wildcard. This is the problem with game week 6 wildcard. It shows every move you did. So I considered Ola Aina as part of my wildcard at one point, but didn't eventually end up on him. So that's a mistake from my side, actually. But I didn't have another Forest player till game week 22. That's when I got onto a proper Forest option. By then, it was a bit too late. First couple of weeks, everyone lets in goals. Some teams, yeah. Some teams keep clean sheets though, but yeah, Wood did well this season. He won't do well next season. He might do good. Always the way Palmer this season. Palmer did well as well, to be honest, at the start of the season. Then went a bit more quieter. I think we saw 2 different seasons of Chelsea as well. We had a Chelsea team that were really good at the start, and then a Chelsea team that had kind of dropped off alongside Jackson being missing and whatnot, and then Palmer's form dropped off. I don't know what type of Chelsea team we're going to have a look at next season. This is where Pete maybe can give us a bit more input into what type of Chelsea team will appear next season. Also depends on who they sign as strikers as well. Have more patience with the top tier FPL players. Now this is the thing. This I tried to do this season with Haaland. Unfortunately, at the detriment to my rank. So maybe this should kind of be a bit more different, where it goes sometimes you just need to X the top tier FPL players. So I tried to improve on this, and I did keep patience with top tier FPL players, but unfortunately they did not reward me for my patience. We went through all the emotions with Sanchez in goals this season. Yep, fair enough. So I don't know if you even put this on an improve one. I don't know where to put this. I'm gonna put this on its. I'm just gonna keep it to itself for the moment on. Just don't know where to put it for the moment. Captaincy and clean sheet. I definitely improved on captaincy. With a 74% pick rate. How many points did people get here on captaincy? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to let me know in the comments how many points you got on captaincy. The captaincy definitely improved. Clean sheets, no. Defense was pretty bad. Where is the... I had, what is this, about 30% from clean sheets. Not that great. Goals as well, 30%. Assist was even more lower. Bonus points even more lower. Definitely need to improve on the other 4 areas. Captaincy was pretty good. The remaining 4 were pretty bad. You need to improve on basically the rest of the board. So need to improve on clean sheet and let's just put next one. Don't play too risky too early. Can someone remind me this again in game week 1? Clearly showed my game week 1 draft. Didn't listen. Do I like bias impact decisions? Well, it really didn't impact my decision too much this season, I guess, since we were pretty bad and pretty shit. I think this is where Pete. If I end up picking like Cunha, and if United happen to sign Embuemo and I pick Embuemo as well on my FPL teams, please let me know not to do it. Got to get my beauty sleep ahead of the cup final tomorrow morning. Good luck for the rest of the stream, Ryan. Thank you very much. Best of luck, Pete, for the cup final. Hopefully, Chelsea come away with another trophy. Differently caps apart from the end of season don't work. Yeah, that's true. Need to use chips better next season. This kind of worked, I would say, except for bench boost. I'm going to remove this over here. Pick players from teams showing great form. That I'll keep. Don't be afraid of EO. Keeping Haaland at the start. That I actually kind of improved on. Didn't get good enough players. Didn't get enough good double gimmick players for the doubles. This wasn't relevant that much this season given the number of doubles. So instead, I will keep this team, put myself in a position to get lucky. And don't trust me. I think this is basically it. This is it. This is my... I know where to put this. So be careful about. And I'll switch it to... Alright, that's it. That's my Miro board for this season. So let me know what your thoughts are in terms of that. In terms of things that I could have improved on, captaincy definitely has done well, but the others I kind of have to improve on, which means picking a good game week 1 draft. Definitely picking a good game week 1 draft. And something I want to keep an eye out for and try and do better next season is, you guys see this like red? So it basically shows the top players I'm losing from. I want to try and minimize that like number, like the negative, like here, where is it? For example, I think was it this game week here that I highlight? Saka on a -9, Palmer on a -7. This game week, Palmer -12, and Mbuemo -7. So those are massive negative numbers. So I want to try and reduce that if possible for next season, which means getting on those players early before they can do too much damage as well to my rank. Because Saka did it in 13, and then again Saka and Palmer did it in 13, and then Palmer did it in 15 as well. So definitely maybe trying to avoid that too much by getting the players early, like especially the good ones when they're performing, getting them into the team soon is probably also something that I need to improve on. All right, now I'm going to end this poll that I have here. So just to explain this poll before I want to go into another poll, which Andy suggested a few polls as well. So this poll, and this is everyone's, feel free to give me opinions because we've had about 12 votes on it. So the question was, will you join the Chatbox YouTube youth team membership for a chance to win 1 month FFS Scout Club or end of season jersey? This 1 month FFS Fantasy Football Scout subscription is basically every month a winner will be chosen basically. So based on whoever finishes in the mini league of that, the youth team mini league, whoever finishes the top each month will get a 1 month scout membership. That is one idea. The other idea is end of season jersey, where you'll have to have been a member for the entire season, and whoever wins and the top of the mini league will get a jersey of their choice. Those were the two ideas, which is why the poll was there. Wish I could have, but I didn't. The world is, yeah, that's completely fine. It's just optional. I just wanted to gauge people's interest before I thought of doing anything like that. That's why the poll. I'm going to end that poll for now. I'll probably put that poll in the YouTube community tab to try and keep it up, and let's see what happens there. But let's get into a few more interesting polls for now. Now, I have another poll that I wanted to add. But first, let's give me a few options, starting with underperformer of the season. Who would you consider your underperforming FPL player of the season? Give me a few options and I will put them on a poll and then we'll see who wins. So underperformer of the season. Let me know. I have 3 categories: underperformer of the season, overachiever of the season, and one to watch next season. Those are 3 categories that I'm going to do for today's stream. And we might do a few polls like this in future streams as well. So let's start with underperformer of the season. Let me know. Give me a few options and I will put them. Give me at best I'll select 4 players from the options and then we will add them into a poll and see what happens. In the meantime, Sandri, are you still here? I can have a look at your mini league, obviously. If you want me to look at your teams, just to have a look in terms of mini leagues, whatnot, let me know in the comments as well. Congratulations to Gus, who finished top. Thomas came second. Sujan third. Matthew fourth. James fifth. Nick sixth. Aliu seventh. Justin eighth. Shihab ninth. And Raj 10th as well. So congrats. And the cup winner was Shahid, who won against Reski, 66 versus 63 points. Haaland, Bruno. Okay, 2 options there. Sun. Was Sun an underperformer? Could be. I might run one poll for today. We'll do another poll. Foden, yes, definitely. Foden, definitely. I think Foden, Haaland, City in general, right? Definitely. But Foden and Haaland, yes. Solanke, yes, because we were expecting more from first forward. I remember a lot of people went for Solanke game week 1 as well. Okay, so we have 3 options. Haaland, Son. No, I would say Haaland, Solanke, Foden. Son, how many people went for Son? I don't know if that many went for Son. Bruno is also up there. So Saka, do you guys think Saka as well? Or would you think? I think he kind of didn't do well as well. I was expecting more from Saka and that was also poor. Onana? Nana was that's a different category, Cole. That is basically fraud of the season. I should have a fraud of the season. Add Onana into that. Okay, underperform of the season. Let's have a look. Let's put Haaland. Foden. Saka was injured. That's, yeah, true. Fair points. Even when he came back from injury, didn't really do much. Solanke was Solanke so blanky. Haaland, Foden, Solanke. Who else was like an underperformer? What do you guys think? Let's select by team percentage. Anyone else? Let's maybe keep it to 3. Haaland, Foden, and Solanke. Let's put those 3 for the moment. Let's see. Pedro was being raved about. Joe Pedro. But Joe Pedro did well at times. Thought he was spelled so blanky. I think Joe Pedro did pretty well at certain points. Let's put these three: Haaland, Foden, and Solanke. Jackson. Ah, I wish I could do that poll. Was he underperformer though? I had Jackson in like the no buy list as well at one point for last season. I guess you could count him as but he did get sent off and everything. Let's just keep it as Solanke, Foden, and Haaland for now, since I've started the poll. And while this poll is going on, overachiever of the season. Who do you think was the overachiever of the season? Can you create a team for the whole Man United, whole Man United team? That is underperforming team this season. But they've not really been FPL options, like except for Bruno Fernandes. Man United players last season were never proper FPL options. And you would still like Bruno Fernandes has actually done pretty well this season, regardless of his team. He's basically the sixth highest point scorer in midfield. Andy says Rogers. Joseph says Chris Wood. Mbuemo. Ooh, overachiever of the season. Interesting. Can't start multiple polls, sadly. So we'll keep this poll. Actually, Solanke is leading it. Foden is second. So I'm going to add Chris Wood. I'll add Rogers. And Mbuemo. Was he an overperformer? Could be. Yeah, you could say so. Chris Wood has to take the poll on this one. Yeah, I think Chris Wood might potentially take it. Who else do you think overperformed? Would you add Sir Jared Bowen into that? Or is he just carrying West Ham? Jacob Murphy? Oh, that's a pretty decent shout. Yes, yes. Tell us the results of the polling then. Well, at the moment, Solanke is leading it. Let's go mini league. All right, let's bring out Sandry's mini league while this current poll is running. Rowan was predicting to do what he did. Yeah, fair enough. All right, Sandry, where's your mini league? Can you tell me where you are in the lead? In the league? Can you tell me exactly where you are in the league, Sandry? First forward trolled a lot of people. Yeah, Solanke, right? All right, let me end the underperformed season. In Solanke clearly took that. Although I would have voted for Haaland as well, because I think for his price he didn't just he started well but then went poof. But yeah, Solanke definitely. Even the season he had before that, yeah. So we'll end this poll. Let's do the overachiever of the season. So we're gonna add good Jacob. I spell Embramer correctly? No one voted Haaland. I would have voted Haaland, but I can't vote on the poll from here. All right, new poll is up, and let me bring up Sandry's mini league. Sandry managed to win the mini league without any issue at the end. 171. 70 points on the final day. Pretty good returns. Jared Bowen, obviously, with the delivery, 26 points. You actually managed to lead. You got a pretty good lead as well. Your lead extended even more bigger than it was initially. So your opponent got 32, absolutely destroyed. I did tell you, right? The defense wasn't the defense was definitely the one where things changed. So Sandry, you did pretty well. Well done. One. What was your last transfer that you did? Your last two transfers. You got Gakpo and Saka for Wood and Palmer. We did try this. Unfortunately, the transfers didn't work out. Oh, Gakpo actually did. The Gakpo transfer worked out. The Saka one, unfortunately, didn't work out. Chris Wood, Embuemo, landslides or Woods, I think. Yeah. Worst season so far, although I was able to pass my USMLE medical exam step 3. Nice. That is the best result for the season. Top and 10. That's definitely the best result for the season. Lucky aside, punch for punch, no one in my friends come near. Fair enough. I think you did pretty well. Well done. Well done. So the question for you, Sandry, what's your plan for next season? How are you going to improve next season? I think Chris Wood is definitely winning this poll, right? Here's another, while we're waiting for this poll. The next one is one to watch next season. Who is the final poll for today? Who is your one to watch for next season? How many members do we have on the mini league? We ended up with 299 members on the mini league. Let's see if this will definitely increase. I wonder to what it will increase next season. 299 members. Now next season, obviously, depending on how we go, we might have like a members mini league. Also, for the Discord, I wanted to do something for the Discord as well, like maybe some games in the Discord, stuff like that. Anyone who is on the Discord and are interested, let me know some ideas like games in the Discord, stuff like that, to keep things interesting. Maybe we could do because I've never really done fantasy draft. Maybe we could do a fantasy draft for the Discord. I honestly don't know. I played draft once and it just went, everything just went downhill. But maybe like fantasy draft could be done for the Discord if anyone's interested. Let me know what you think in terms of those as ideas for next season. This could keep your ages. You look at someone's team more like a radio station. Yep. That's a hard one because whoever did well will be expected to who was cheap this season. So one to watch for next season. I think couple options from Brighton maybe. Hinchelwood might be a very interesting prospect. Who was the other one that was being raved about? Kruda, wasn't he? People were saying good things about him as well. Keep an eye out and see. I think was it Joseph who said at the start? Amad Diallo potentially could be one as well to kind of keep an eye out for. Players to see next season, definitely Florian Wirtz, yeah, depending on what price he comes in at. Saka is my tip for the top point scorer for next season. Oh, that is interesting. I don't think I'll have the one to watch as a poll. This I just want to know what you guys think. Murphy, one to watch. I think he really go down or go up. Next season, I'm going to spend more money on punts and take more risks as top of 10. Fair enough. Sandry says, can't see much improvements. I don't change. I know everything about this game in Premier League. Some luck. Fair enough. No doubt I'm in top 100k. We will see. Coyote from, as in like the Brentford fullback? You mean this guy? Alright, I will end the Chris Wood poll because like Chris Wood definitely wins the overachiever of the season. Yeah, this guy could also be one. I think this guy, maybe Brighton, like Hinshaw like I mentioned. Ahmad is another player. Those are some players to kind of keep an eye out for. Morgan Rogers is still definitely a one to watch. Because first of all, it'll be interesting to see what price he comes at. I think about 6.5 to 7 million. 6.5, I think 6.5 million, I wouldn't be surprised. Or 7 million if he comes in at next season. Will be very interesting to see what price tag he comes in at. Kevin Schade, if Mbeumo leaves Brentford, will Schade step up for Brentford? That's something to keep an eye out for. Also depending on where Mbeumo leaves, because Mbeumo is at 236 points. Out of these 236 points, he scored how many penalties? He missed one penalty. It doesn't show how many penalties he scored, did he? Does anyone know how many penalties? How many penalties did he have? He had a decent number of penalties this season as well, right? So that would also take away from some of his points if he does leave to some other team where he's not the main penalty taker. Cunha's points will also potentially drop maybe from the penalties, but might also increase from potentially more goals or assists potentially. Becky, welcome. How are you doing? Do you watch snooker, mate? Do you know Stephen Henry? No, I don't watch snooker. 7.5 Rogers next season. Ooh, could be. Becky, how are things going? Welcome, welcome. Kunya, if he moves, is a monitor to get in if he moves. He is going to move teams. Question is how he performs at from the looks of it, Manchester United. Alright, we will be slowly looking to end soon. But Becky, do you have any questions? How did your season go? Let me know. And if you want to watch this back, you can definitely watch it back where we just went through. I'll wrap up like basically the learnings from the meter board. So, partially worked. Watch along. Need to improve on that a bit more. What worked in terms of FPL options? Leave in transfer close to the deadline for more info. Content creation wise, deadline stream. I think I need to do it a bit more, 2.5 hours earlier for more interactions. We built a community. We hit 1k subs. That worked. Didn't work. Bench boost. And a bad game week 1. So I need to have a good start next season. That is definitely important. Having a really good start. Something else that didn't work was kept players for too long or didn't jump on players soon enough, like forest options. And also I didn't pick players from the right. Didn't pick the right players from the same team. For example, the likes of Eze, and instead of picking Eze, I went Mateta and Sa, stuff like that. And also didn't pick some players because I thought their team was not performing. Jared Bowen, for example, because I thought West Ham were not a reliable team. Something to be careful about. Overthinking moves and taking unnecessary hits. This is still there. I actually took. You can see how many hits you've taken this season. I ended up taking a total of minus 52 points in hits. Minus 52 points in hits that I took this season. So that is what? 13 hits. I took 13 hits this season. That's quite a lot of hits, to be honest. So maybe I need to look into reducing that. I know Combe probably took maybe 1 or 2 hits this season. So definitely need to reduce that for me. Um, so I need to bring hits down to under double digits. Managers who are not reliable in press news. This I actually was okay about, so I can remove this actually. Yeah. To improve on goalkeeper and defender picks, Twitter bubble impacting moves, too many transfers spent on goalkeepers and defenders. Maybe too many transfers spent on goalkeepers, I should say. Trusting my gut definitely needs to improve. Pick players from teams showing great form, which is the Forest. Don't trust preseason form too much. This is the Jacob Murphy, the Christopher Nkunku picks, stuff like that. Didn't put myself in a position to get lucky. That's one thing to consider. And don't play too risky too early. Again, Jacob, the Christopher Nkunku, Kwanzaa, all those bad game week 1 drafts. And do not let bias impact decisions. This, unfortunately, worked negatively because I should have picked Bruno Fernandes. And unfortunately, because of my bias thinking that we're a pretty bad team in terms of Man United, I didn't go and pick Bruno Fernandes in game week 29. And that actually worked against me, funnily enough. Watch your video back to repost this at the start. Yeah, that's what I'm definitely going to have to watch this back again at the start of the season. Interested to see what Amadela comes in at. He's my top tip for the big FPL points next season. He'll still be low. I think because of the season that United have had, I still think 5.5 is probably where he might come at. 5.5 or 6 million. Very unlikely to see a price rise. Probably 5.5. Player of the season. Player of the season. I would probably have to put that to Salah. His form was just super consistent. He dominated the 97 titles in 10 years. I'm joking, my friend. I'm like him. Invincible in my prime. Many good players underperformed this season. It's very hard to predict. Yeah. Watch a video. I don't want to see. Must be 100 points, Andy. Maybe potentially. Season better than expected, but had fun. Several lessons learned, and one of them is to trust your instincts at times when it comes to punts and risk. Of course, hold on to them chips well. Fair enough. Andy says 150 points in hits. Oof. I took 2 hits and you were only 100k behind me. So that depends on like how the hits are used as well, right? So I took 13 hits. But most of them were like -4s in some situations. That was to just basically fix problems, I think, and get sometimes. So this game week 30 to 38 period where I did pretty well, I took 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, 4 hits out of my 13 because I was chasing as well. So I think I took some hits that, except for game week 38 and game week 36, hits didn't pay off. I definitely know that because the players I bought in didn't do anything. 33 and game week 30, I took a hit to set my team up for game week 30 because I was wildcarding in 31. 33, I took a hit because I was forced to take a hit because Edison went and got injured. If Edison didn't get injured, I would have not taken a hit in 33. 36 and 38, the hits came because one Marmush got benched. So I ended up taking a hit and bringing KDB, which didn't work. 38 took a hit because I was chasing final game week as well. So actually the hits didn't pay off when you think about it. 36 and 38 didn't pay off. 30 actually I think paid off because I got the green arrow. 33 I was forced into the hit. The others I don't remember, to be honest, what I actually did for. I had an okay season but making the same mistakes every single season for years. So maybe you should also do like a mirror board and then come back to it at the start of the season and make sure you don't do it. Make sure you don't do the things that were mentioned in there. FPL player of the season, I'd say Mbuemo. Fair enough. In Salah we trust. Yep. United will do much better next season with no Europe. As long as they sign some people who can score goals, I think it might be good. I may bring Bruno in next season, especially if Amorim has a huge clear out and brings in his type of players. This comb is assuming that Bruno Fernandes is at Manchester United next season. We don't even know if he's going to be at Manchester United next season at the moment. The right hits to get value for other big value players before you get priced out. Stay with the pack. Yeah, could be. And also if he stays. Yep. All right, I think we will end it there. But overall, it's been another enjoyable season with you guys, and I want to thank you all for keeping me company. Um, and obviously, we are going to definitely. I'm going to bring this. I will make sure someone remind me if I don't do it. Make sure when I'm building my game week 1 draft, 1 week, no, before the week before FPL kicks out, when that final week of building our draft, remind me to bring this mirror board on stream. We bring it on stream and we make sure that we've actually not done some of the stuff that we were supposed to do, like in terms of bad game week 1 draft, stuff like that. That I don't trust preseason form too much. That I don't make that same mistake again in game week 1. So remind me to bring that up again. So Joseph says, thank you, chaps. Yep, Villa will do better next season with no Champions League. We'll keep most of our players not on loan. Fair enough. Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone. Did you look at eFootball? Yes, I did look at eFootball. And I was thinking of streaming eFootball tomorrow on the gaming channel. So if anyone wants to come and join in on the gaming channel, I will be streaming eFootball tomorrow. I actually don't know what I'm actually doing on eFootball at the moment as well. So I could do some help. I've got like Foden and Lamine Yamal as some of the free picks. I unfortunately missed out on Batistuta, I think. Unfortunately missed out on that. But yes, I have played eFootball. But yeah, anyone wants to come see me, I'll be playing on this channel tomorrow. Probably the same time, 9 p.m. Sydney time. Same time we started this stream, I'll be playing tomorrow as well. So come get involved if you guys are interested. And then I think we'll be having a FIFA Pro Club session with like Ezra and Nick. And if anyone else plays FIFA Pro Clubs, let me know. You guys can come and join as well on Saturday. That's kind of what we're doing on Saturday and on tomorrow on the gaming channel. Both on the gaming channel will be here live streamed. So until then, thank you all for watching. If you guys want the link for this channel and you want to subscribe to this channel, I will put it in the chat here. Do it for free. I'm running FIFA, and this I run Road to Glory. I don't spend money on FIFA or even this one. Road to Glory completely. All right. If you guys want to check that out, do feel to check it out. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I will see you all later. There will be, oh, by the way, if you guys want some different types of content ideas, I'm not doing Club World Cup Fantasy. Unfortunately, I'm going to take a break from Fantasy until FPL starts again. But if you guys want any other football type of content that I could do on this channel, give me a few ideas. Let me know in the comments, obviously, after this video is ended. Put some comments in the ideas so we can cover something on this channel. Maybe transfer news, stuff like that. Maybe potentially we can cover on this channel. We might do a watch along for the Champions League final. If anyone is interested, let me know if you guys are interested for a watch along for the Champions League final. But otherwise, give me some ideas that we could do during the break before FPL kicks off again as well on the comments. And I will see you all later. Peace out, everyone.